You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Although Hidden Traps is not officially released until August 1st, you can pre-order your paperback or ebook copy now from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Get your free inventor's information. Call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
This is Ginny Ehrhart with Southern Sisters Radio, and I'm your Southern Sister. In case you didn't know, you can check us out every Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KLRN. And I'd love to hear from you. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com.
Hey, baseball fans, I'm Casey Motter. Welcome to Wenz World.
Our Southern sister, Ginny Ehrhart, is here to deliberate on a serious Southern controversy. Yeah. Jenny, welcome back to Wenz World.
Good to see you, Joey. This is serious.
These are dire times.
You know, it really is, and you can never underestimate the power of mayonnaise.
This is a subject that has caused numerous rifts and arguments over holiday after holiday, year after year.
Oh, I'm telling you, there've been people in families that don't speak to each other anymore because of this controversy. You know, there's the Duke's mayonnaise camp.
Yep.
There's the Blue Plate camp. There's the Hellman's camp. You know what I'm saying?
And then you could go olive oil, no olive oil.
All the different varieties.
Sure.
So I got to tell you though, you know what the best mayonnaise out there is?
No.
Whatever one you like. That's what I have to say.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm digging it.
I was raised on Hellman's, but now I'm a Duke's girl. My husband was raised on Blue Plate, but he's married to me, so now he has to be a Duke's boy. You see how that works?
Absolutely.
In families. But you know what? If you don't feel like joining the controversy, did you know that you can make your own mayonnaise?
No, you know what? I'm sure somebody did, but until now, I didn't know it was this easy.
Well, I have to tell you, the number one thing I hear from folks when I talk about doing your own mayonnaise is, it must be difficult.
Right.
It's got to be hard.
Sounds like
nothing
it would
could be further from the truth.
Okay.
Let me tell you, there is nothing to this, and you will end up with the most luscious condiment ever if you do your own mayonnaise. Make it yourself. Here's what you're going to do. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to put 2 large eggs in a medium-sized mixing bowl and add about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. You can use the bottled or you can use the fresh. Then using a handheld mixture on medium speed with one hand, you're going to begin to slowly drizzle 2 cups of vegetable oil into the eggs with the other hand. You can use vegetable oil or canola. You want a light-tasting oil. Now, here's the trick. For the mixture to properly emulsify, you want to be sure to drizzle the oil very slowly. You're going to pause to add 1 teaspoon of salt and then increase the mixing speed to medium-high and just continue mixing as the mayonnaise emulsifies and thickens. That's all there is to it. It's not rocket science. Now, the end result will be smooth and creamy mayonnaise. You can use it for dipping, spreading, adding it to recipes. I mean, think of the things that we use mayonnaise for here in the South. Pimento cheese, chicken salad, deviled eggs, on and on and on. So, you know what? If you don't want to get into the heated controversy and you just can't make up your mind about what your favorite is, make your own. Impress everybody.
You always come here, and you don't even try, but you always impress me.
Well, I don't know about that. I just know my mayonnaise.
And you know what? We can hear all about all your fantastic recipes on your website.
Indeed. Everything is on the website, southernsistershome.com. All you have to do is go there and click on the blog. We upload all our recipes from the show every week. And you know you can catch my show on Saturdays at noon right here on AM 920.
And, of course, the Facebook Live video.
Yes, we have fun on our Facebook Live video.
One of my favorite times of the day, I got to be honest with you.
And we have a little slideshow that goes behind me in the studio. So nice. we have some pictures to support what we're talking about. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah. Check out Southern Sisters with Ginny Ehrhart on Facebook.
Ginny, always a pleasure to have you in Wenz World.
Thanks for having me, Joey.
Break. Hot takes and keen sports insights with the one, the only, at Radio Griff.
What it is.
Man, it's been a whole week since our last discussion, and boy, oh boy, times are a-changing in the NFL, Radio Griff.
Crazy things going on in the NFL, man. It's like the season's ramping up. Story after story's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Guys who were going to be broadcasters are now back in the league.
Tim Tebow?
Not quite.
Oh.
Guys who want to be in the league apparently had a chance to be in the league, but aren't in the league. It's craziness, man.
I say there's no better time than to turn the old sport topic wheel.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. You first. Ready?
Okay, here we go.
Nice spin. Taylor Swift's groping trial. North Korea.
Don't want to touch that one.
Let's see. Oh, Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, man. First off, how is he a topic every week? This guy isn't even in the league. Yet when we talk NFL, you have to talk about Colin Kaepernick. The guy is still a story.
Yeah,
a year later.
Yeah, race talk is sexy in America.
Apparently.
Has been overlooked again by a professional football team.
Right. Well, the story came out this week that apparently he was offered a job.
Mm-hmm.
And what we've kind of concluded is that he probably was offered to be the backup for the Seattle Seahawks.
Right.
Because they have their quarterback, Russell Wilson, as overrated as he is.
Right, absolutely.
He's still their starting quarterback. And the rumor is that, Kaepernick, or the report was that Kaepernick was offered a job but turned it down. So now people are giving Kaepernick and his camp, lots of junk because, hey guys, you were offered a job, so you can't keep crying, oh, no one wants me, I'm getting blackballed. But you were offered a job. You just don't want to be a backup at league minimum.
Right, and league minimum being a mere 900 G's a year.
Yeah, how would he survive just on that?
How are you supposed to pay the cable bill?
Right, yeah. So I kind of also have the theory, and I've also seen this thrown around. It's like, if he does accept a job, does he kind of lose some of his platform then? Like, because right now, lots of the platform is, I'm being blackballed. This is just an example. It's almost like a microcosm of what's going on in the rest of America. Because of who I am and what I stand for, I can't get a job, and there's other people like me in similar situations across America, so I represent them. I know my rights, as he likes to say.
Right.
So maybe he's turning down these jobs to keep this platform. Maybe he really just does want to be an activist. Maybe he knows in his back of his mind he's done with football, but he's still playing this up, I want a job, but no one will give me a job, just to keep the platform going.
If you're Colin Kaepernick and you want to play football, don't you take anything that's offered your way, because beggars can't be choosers.
Right.
Unless it is something as deep-seated as, I really don't want to play and I'd rather be the victim because that is sexy. We all know how victimhood in America.
It's a big deal these days.
It's a big deal. Everybody wants to be a victim.
Right, yeah.
If you're on Dr. Phil, you're a star. How about that? So there you go.
Outside,
Catch me outside. That girl is already a millionaire. Can you believe that?
Wild.
I think she got arrested for possession or something.
She's like 14. It's kind of sad. I mean, a backup job for the Seattle Seahawks, a team that should win their division and should play to maybe go to the Super Bowl. They could easily win the NFC this year. Like, the NFC's wide
conceivable,
open.
Sure.
Right. So why wouldn't you want to be the backup on that team? Russell Wilson, the way he plays, he's kind of similar to Kaepernick.
Yeah.
I think he has a little more brains these days.
Had some ankle issues last year.
But that type of quarterback gets hurt all the time.
Right.
Kaepernick could easily be leading the Seahawks to the Super Bowl this year if he wanted to.
And how ironic would that be? Former 49er.
It'd be wild.
Switching unis, playing up in Seattle, a few hundred miles northbound.
Right. But
that would be incredible.
He's choosing not to. He doesn't want, so I do wonder if a team came out and said, we're the Cleveland Browns. We don't have a starting quarterback. We offered Colin Kaepernick to come here and be the starting quarterback for however much money, and he chose not to. Well, would he turn down a starting job if it was guaranteed?
Well, I'm not sure that
man.
the Kaepernick hype video would be as amazing as the Brock Osweiler hype video. Dude, it makes me want to wear brown for the rest of my life. Unbelievable. This guy is the next best thing.
Oh, it's awesome. And he's collected so much money. It's wild.
Yeah, he's a bandit, man. Brock Osweiler, what a bandit.
Some people call him the heist.
He is a heist.
Right.
What a screw job, man. But hey, good for him. It's a buyer's market. So, hey, if they feel he's worth that money, then good for Brock, man. The story as of late was Miami signing Jay Cutler over Kaepernick, overlooking Colin Kaepernick. And, of course, there's been rumblings around the league. Eagle safety Malcolm Jenkins calling NFL owners cowardly for not signing Kaepernick, for signing Cutler over Kaepernick in Miami. But we like to do a tad of research here in Wenz World.
Yes.
And upon further research, we have found that former offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears is now head coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Right, and that just took a simple Google search or just paying
that's
attention.
All it was. Adam Gase connection to Jay Cutler.
And Jay Cutler had his best season ever. I think it was in 2015.
Yes.
Under Adam Gase.
Correct.
Those two work well together.
Yeah, they know the system.
They like each other.
Mm-hmm.
It makes too much sense. You can't, in that situation, I don't understand the Kaepernick stuff.
No.
That was, Cutler is available. And they connected, and now he's there. I mean, it makes total sense. And I really don't even care about the numbers. I know we have the numbers that probably show Cutler probably still is a superior quarterback. Maybe
it's slightly above Colin Kaepernick numerically.
But just on the fact alone that they used to work together, they still know each other, they kind of like each other, and Cutler doesn't really get along with everybody. He's
kind of a weird dude.
He's a weird dude, yeah. So just on that alone, that there's already that personal relationship, that trumps any stats, in my opinion. And Cutler's a serviceable quarterback.
Absolutely.
So why not?
It goes back to the age-old adage, it's who you know, not what you know.
Oh, that's totally what it is.
And we haven't heard any off-the-field scandals with Jay Cutler, which, one way or the other, you can think about the First Amendment. The First Amendment never protects you from the consequences of exercising it.
True.
So Colin,
deep stuff, man.
I was up late last night drinking some Yoo-Hoo, and I thought, man, there it is. That sums it up.
Yeah.
And it's nothing profound. It's just the way it is in America. So maybe Colin Kaepernick, in some way or the other, is paying the price for his freedom of speech. And look, I'm not saying he did the wrong thing.
He definitely is to a degree.
Yeah,
I mean,
to a degree.
Ravens situation, I think, is a little more, I kind of lean on Kaepernick's side on that. Because the coach, Harbaugh, we talked about this last week, Harbaugh wants him, and the GM, Ozzie Newsome, they both wanted Kaepernick.
Right.
But it's the owner who stopped that from happening.
And don't you think it has something to do with his girlfriend tweeting out how the owner is a racist?
Right. She did that after some reports came out that the owner didn't want Kaepernick.
It doesn't help.
And I've been thinking about this for a couple weeks. It's just now coming to mind to bring it up. She's the problem.
She is the problem.
Or at least she's the catalyst for all of this happening.
Meanwhile,
because he wasn't on this whole activist train until he started dating her or tried to win her over.
Right.
And she was already way more left, way more activist style than he ever was.
Yeah.
So then they start dating. It's Yoko Ono, man.
Yep.
And then Colin Kaepernick has become like a vegan. That he showed up to camp last year. He weighed like $120. All his remember, he used to be a muscular, tough dude.
Yeah, he used to eat chocolate cake out of a bag.
Right.
Now it's just cucumber water. What the heck, man?
He lost all that definition he had. So why isn't she being talked about more? Like,
she's a problem. She's an issue.
She messed with this guy's mind one way or another and may have ruined his livelihood. Like, he made a living out of playing football at a very high level. He was supposed to be one of the next great quarterbacks of our time. He meets her, it all goes away.
I gotta say,
coincidence?
There must be something magic going on when the lights are off, because there is no woman, or if you're a woman listening to this, no man worth ruining your career. And deep down, you know Colin Kaepernick, he's had people in his ear telling him this is not the best person to be speaking truth, in quotes, into your life right now.
I think you're right on about that.
There has to be.
I mean, this guy was kind of a quiet. It was reported that he was a Christian.
Right.
He's supposed to be one of those great Christian quarterbacks, but still was cool because he still had tattoos. He was still kind of like this muscular,
like the
cool,
typical youth pastor nowadays.
Exactly.
Skinny jeans.
That's what he was.
Yeah.
There's rumblings that maybe he switched religions.
Yeah.
Because of this girl.
To Islam. Because
right.
She's Islamic.
Right. And
not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm not saying
in
that.
America, you have your right to freedom of religion, man.
Sure.
Whatever you want to do. And you can go from Christian to Muslim if you want, but you've got to admit there's been some change since she came into his life.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man.
Meanwhile, you got Jay Cutler's wife speaking truth into his life.
Kristen Cavallari from Laguna Beach days. I used to watch her.
Very attractive woman.
Yeah, I used to watch Laguna Beach. Her and LC, Lauren, and what was the guy's name who was in the love triangle with him? Steven?
I have no idea.
Oh, man, come on.
Wait, is this post 90210 days? Because I used to be a 90210
This was like
junkie.
Laguna Beach reality show on MTV, like early 2000s maybe.
I didn't have cable back then. I was living with 4 other dudes in a 2-bedroom. It was an odd situation.
That show was awesome, man.
Yeah.
But then, The Hills came out of that and all kinds of stuff. Good stuff. But, Jay Cutler was going to be on Fox's number 2 broadcast team this year.
Sure.
Like, Fox decided, hey, come on, be a commentator. You were kind of a weird dude when you were playing, but we want to put you on our number 2 team. When I first heard the news that Cutler's going back, from my perspective, for someone who's in broadcasting, it's like, dude, being a football broadcaster as a former player, what a sweet cush gig.
Yeah, man, you can eat whatever you want,
right.
Get fat,
you
let
show
go.
up like on Fridays,
Yeah.
Go meet with the coaches, do some research, call the game on Sunday afternoon. You're back home Sunday night eating dinner with your family, potentially.
Exactly.
Sweet gig. But then I saw he was only going to get paid like $500K. Here are the Dolphins offering him basically $10 million
for 1 year.
For 1 year to come on down. You can bet that's why Kristen was saying, hey, honey, why don't you go play football another year?
Hey, get off your ass and go play
$10
football because once that well runs dry, man, a lot of these guys don't have anything to fall back on.
Right. And I know he probably
autograph signings and
he
such.
probably has money set for life. But hey,
we don't know. Who knows?
$10 million is still $10 million.
He's had a couple appearances on the show The League. I'm sure that's, 25 G's a show,
at least,
something
right?
like that. But yeah, he does look like the guy who would make smart business decisions. I mean, he made them on the field. He got rid of that football. He threw interceptions when hey, man, I'm about to get sacked. I'm throwing this damn ball up because I am not dealing with another broken rib. Here you go. Stark opposites. You got the Muslim tainting Colin Kaepernick's mind into believing he's something that he's really not, that his crap doesn't stink. And then you have Kristen whispering in Jay's ear, hey, honey, why don't you get up and make yourself some eggs? I'll take care of the kids. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
I'll take care of the cutlets. You go out there, go hit those weights and get back on the treadmill for 1 year for $10 million. Dude, at Radio Griff, there is practically nothing that I wouldn't do on a 1 year deal for $10 million with the caveat of no gay sex. I think that's the only thing I wouldn't do.
I think you're onto something there. I can't think of anything offhand. I mean, maybe, I don't want to say that.
No, go ahead, man. Go for it.
No.
Use your imagination, people. All right, back to the topic wheel for the final spin of the day. Here we go, Griff. You've been warming up. Dude, by the way, those pythons of yours, they are just
let me tell
screaming.
you. Let me tell you.
I think like 40-inch pythons the Griff has got going on here. All right, here we go.
You're talking about my arms, right?
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, maybe? Giant chicken balloon with Trump. Oh! Concussions and CTE in the NFL.
I saw a report, I think this week, that said this prominent doctor came out and said, if you allow your kids to play football, that's child abuse.
Wow, that's
because
really
of all
harsh.
the CTE stuff. So what's some of the stuff that's come out this week? Every day it seems like there's new, CTE information coming out.
CTE is an acronym for chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
God bless you.
Thank you. a.k.a. an effed up brain. Right? There's a recent study that showed 110 of 111 former NFL players who had their brain studied showed signs of CTE. The signs of CTE are dementia, memory loss, suicidal tendencies, anger outbursts, a range of mood swings, stuff like that, a.k.a. a period. It seems like this is like a lifelong thing.
Doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't. It sounds like you're walking around with a man period for the rest of your life.
That's the worst. I think there's something to this. Obviously, we've seen some Junior Seau.
Yep.
Didn't he take his own life?
Yeah, he took his own life.
And then there was CTE apparently after the fact.
Look at somebody like Chris Benoit, WWE.
Right.
The same kind of thing.
These guys hitting their head all the time. I mean, come on. Very basic logic will tell you that's not going to end well if you keep doing that over and over and over again. And these guys start at what? These days, like 7 years old. I mean, maybe even younger, playing football, where you're starting to make that contact.
Right.
And you're going until you're 34 or so. That's 30 years, basically, where you're just pounding your head. Now, I think, and I heard someone bring this up, and I think is a very legitimate point. Obviously, in the last decade or so, the NFL and football in general has made lots of strides, to make the helmet safer, rules about hitting and stuff like that.
Right.
So, they're having to hit and tackle differently now than they used to. Some people say, it's kind of, made the game a little wussier, whatever you want to say. But obviously, these guys are still alive, so we haven't really seen the effects that these changes have had. We won't know that for another probably 30 years.
Sure.
20, 30 years. I think maybe we have made progress, but we're seeing reports that are based on guys that played a decade plus ago.
During a time when there was very little talk about the consequences of getting your head smashed
Now we're
in.
a little smarter about this, or at least pretending to be.
Right.
And we're trying to make some changes, so maybe we are having a good impact, and maybe we don't need to be as extreme as saying you can't let your kids play football at all. And some people are claiming, football within 20 years will be dead. Like, people bring up the example of boxing. Boxing was the hot thing in the 80s. And then because, people just stopped boxing, it wasn't a thing anymore. And some people claim, I don't see it happening in my lifetime. And I'm, barely 30 years old. I don't think there's going to be a time when we're not allowing our kids to play football, and therefore the NFL dies, basically. I don't see that happening. I think people are always, especially your middle America, football's just part of life.
Yeah,
there.
man. Friday Night Lights.
Right. That's not going to just end all of a sudden.
Absolutely. And then this has made it to such the mainstream that they made a movie about it. The Will Smith movie Concussion.
Right.
CTE is one aspect of brain damage. If you know there's a risk of getting your brain smashed in play after play, week after week, play at your own risk. You make a ton of money, but this is the consequence of said risk. At the same time, I think being a good parent is making the decisions for your children until they can make their own decisions. As a parent, I love football, but I will never let my son play football until he's in high school.
I totally agree with you. I was going to ask you, you have a son, we both have sons, would you allow him to play football? And my parents were pretty much the same way with me. They weren't going to sign me up for football when I was 7.
No, nobody knows
Baseball,
what they're doing.
Soccer, sure.
Right.
Some of these days, soccer's, reports that's pretty dangerous.
Sure,
but
the turf and all that.
I'm not signing my son up to play football. If at 15 and he wants to play in high school, okay, I guess you can start playing then if you want. But
I would much rather him play rugby first because they teach you how to tackle properly.
Right.
And I think that's an issue where the NFL has come down hard on tackling, as Radio Griff mentioned. But it's a play at your own risk thing, and if you want to swim in the pool with no lifeguard and you end up drowning, it's sad and it's a tragedy, but it was still your decision to swim at 9:30 at night. So that's that. It's the same kind of thing in my mind. So that's it till next week, when I'm sure we'll have more news on race crusader Colin Kaepernick.
Well, I'm sure something will happen this week, and I'm also, preseason games going on like we talked about earlier.
That's
There's
right. What
bound
injuries?
to be injuries.
Yep.
Maybe those two are related.
Absolutely.
Maybe a QB goes down, and here comes Superman Colin Kaepernick to the rescue. As long as he's guaranteed to be the starter, right?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to play otherwise.
Time will tell. On behalf of @Radio Griff, the Wenz here, have a fantastic week.
Hey, y'all, this is Ginny Ehrhart with the Southern Sisters Radio Show. Catch us at southernsistershome.com. You can also connect with us on Facebook at Southern Sisters with Ginny Ehrhart. I'm in Wenz World, and I'm loving it.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
Hey, KLRN radio family, this is Ginny Ehrhart. Check out the Southern Sisters radio show every Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KLRN. Connect with me on Facebook at Southern Sisters Home with Ginny Ehrhart. You can also catch our Facebook Live videos, unedited and uncensored. Connect with me personally. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com.
Hi, this is Bobby Caldwell from Captain Beyond, and I'm in Wenz world, and I'm loving it.
My friends, if you weren't around for the last break, we are offering you and a friend free access to Captain Beyond at the Earl this upcoming Wednesday, August 16th, 8 o'clock is when the show starts. Be the first to direct message me on Twitter at Wenz World Radio, WENZ World Radio, and you and a friend will gain free entry to the show. Plus, get an opportunity to meet Bobby and the rest of Captain Beyond after the show. A complimentary pair of tickets and a complimentary pair of meet and greet access passes. So be the first to direct message me on Twitter at Wenz World Radio. First come, first serve. Best of luck. And now, the second part of our conversation with future Rock and Roll Hall of Fame drummer Bobby Caldwell of Captain Beyond. So we were talking about going across the country and across the globe, really. Is there still like a bucket list venue that you haven't been to yet that you want to play?
That's a good question. Well, I'd love to play Carnegie Hall. There's amazingly, I have never played Hawaii.
Really?
It's shocking, really. For no reason, we just nobody was going to Hawaii when we were the different bands, different people I was working with, and I'd like to play Hawaii at a big show there. I'd like to play, maybe a place or two in L.A. I used to live there, but I actually haven't played the Forum or what they've got going there now for the Lakers. So I would. There's a few places.
And I got one last question for you.
Yes, sir.
Since you're the first and probably only future Rock and Roll Hall of Famer that I'll ever interview, if there was a musical Mount Rushmore, besides your face, who else? What other faces would we see on that, in your opinion?
Oh, boy, Joey. Let's see. If you're talking about great musicians, to me, it would have to be Jimi Hendrix. It would have to be John Lennon. It would have to be Jack Bruce. Extraordinary talent. Burt Bacharach. I mean, if you're talking greatness here, and you're setting aside what style of music,
anything.
There's just so many really phenomenal, and I hate to use that word. There really are, that deserve to have the attention. If that's what you mean.
Absolutely.
Where people will recognize them, how great they really were or are or whatever. It's all about the greatness. I want to say something real quick about the music. The musical situation, I've always felt that, there's the really creative people, the really talented people, and then there's the people that sort of make up, say, the mediocre. They're okay, God bless them, but they're not in that upper tier of greatness. And whether you're talking jazz, whether it's Chick Corea, Herbie Hancock, or you know what I'm saying, they're really greats. And so that distinction of trying to bring some level of music to people that is special. There's nothing that's the best of anything, as you know, because the best is in the eyes of the beholder or the person watching.
Sure.
But the greatness in terms of the songs, the value of it, the arrangement of it, the greatness of it, the ingeniousness of it, to me, that's what really needs to be put across to the listeners these days, because I think we've gotten a little bit away from what was really once a sort of a bar to be able to aspire to, and kind of changed it a little bit to where I think the consumer suffers. But maybe it'll turn around, and those kinds of things will be happening again, hopefully. You have to remember, it's about sharing this stuff with people who are interested. You're the people that I play for. I'm not interested in the people that don't care or don't understand the difference, which is why I was talking about the music a minute ago, and the differences in, artistic creativity, performance, and all that stuff, because you're on to, there's so much music, Joey, that has been made. So much unbelievable music in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
So much of it people haven't even heard. I mean, I had a guy that worked for me for a while out in L.A., and this was in like 88, 89, and he was a great guy, and he had made it a point to learn everything he could about the history of music. So he could talk about all the 50s, I mean, not to the degree I can, but I'm talking about the R&B groups of the 50s, Hank Ballard and the Midnighters, and, Junior Walker and the All-Stars, and Spencer Davis Group from England, and all these different people. And I told him, I said, you're doing yourself a favor by digging into all of this great stuff that's still around that you can listen to. Because at that time, Joey, the difference was at that time when I was a kid is that, and remember, I mean, I was 36 like yesterday, but when I was a kid, you couldn't get arrested unless you were doing something different. It wasn't about copying the next band, because the record company wouldn't even sign you. You had to be doing something uniquely different that they thought could make them some money first,
right,
and that they could hang their hat on. So this is why you had so many different great groups and styles. Yeah, there were some clunkers too, and people take a chance on certain things. But, I mean, starting with the Beatles and the Jimi Hendrix Experience and Cream and Led Zeppelin and the Yardbirds and the Who, and I mean, you just keep the Byrds, you just keep going on and on and on. So fortunately, I hope you're being able to indulge yourself in listening to all that stuff, as you are with Captain Beyond.
And you know what? It's so funny that you mentioned that, because now with Spotify, I turned on the Captain Beyond playlist, and then it goes to, James Gang, Grand Funk Railroad, stuff like that. And I'm like, holy cow. Like, my dad knew what was going on, and
right.
And here I am. And it just seems, I was pondering the question on my way to work today, what's next?
That's a really good question, but like I said, the beautiful part is that the stuff has been out there and recorded, and you have a chance to go back and listen to everything, obscure stuff, and not make any apologies. Because remember, it isn't about what the next guy likes, because what moves him may not even affect you.
Right.
And vice versa. You may hear something and say something to your wife, your girlfriend, or your friend and say, man, have you heard this thing? And they'll look at you going, yeah, it's okay. And that's okay, too, but they're not getting from it what you are.
Right.
Because it touches your soul in a different way. And so that's the beautiful part, is that it's so much of this great stuff has been put out there that people, all you have to do is dig for it, and you can find some tremendous stuff.
Absolutely, and I think it's going to continue at the Earl Wednesday, August 16th, 8 o'clock is when the show starts. You can catch a Captain Beyond. Check out their website, too, officialcaptainbeyond.com. $20 now, $25 at the door, FreshTix.com, TIX. Bobby Caldwell, future Music Hall of Famer. I can't wait to see your plaque in Cleveland, man. It's going to be amazing. Thank you so much for this time and spending some time with me in Wenz.
You're most welcome. I've enjoyed it, Joey, and please, everybody in Atlanta, come on out and see me. And it's been a long time since we've been around, and we hope to see you there.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
This is Ginny Ehrhart with Southern Sisters Radio, and I'm your Southern Sister. In case you didn't know, you can check us out every Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KLRN. And I'd love to hear from you. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com.
Man, oh man, there is nothing like a fantastic conversation. So let's pick it back up from last week. Tom Shinall from Booth Western Art Museum in Cartersville, Georgia. Part 2 of our one-tank trip.
Think about the importance of photography to the West in general.
Sure.
I mean, our national park system was set up because of the photography that was taken of these spaces.
Good point.
And they used that to say, okay, this is an area that we need to designate and save and hold on to. And, that played a vital part in showcasing the West. And, so many people on the East Coast, when the West was being explored and expanded, didn't know what the West was.
Right.
And so you had painters, and until the invention of photography, you had photographers going out there and documenting what the West was.
Sure.
And that's what we try to show at the museum.
And you guys do a phenomenal job. So just those 2 exhibits alone are well worth the cost of admission.
That's right.
General admission, $12, under the price of a movie ticket.
Yep.
But you guys have an even better option, and that's the membership program.
That's right.
So it basically essentially pays for itself in 5 visits.
Yeah, and depending on the size of your family, very quickly. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, depending on how often you come, we rotate exhibits 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year in the different galleries.
Wow.
So, I mean, if you're coming 2 or 3 times a year, whether it be exhibits or events, I mean, just a visit, I mean, it's paid for very quickly. Our individual memberships start at $50 for an annual membership, and that's unlimited admission. I mean, you can come as many times as you want to. And then if you turn around and want to bring the family, we have family level memberships, me and my grandkids, and it goes up from there. But it really is an opportunity to connect with that historical side of our heritage of the American West, but at the same time, do it in a sense that is captivating and world class.
Yeah.
I mean, we are a Smithsonian affiliated institution, and people don't realize that, there's a lot of criteria that goes into being affiliated with the Smithsonian. We were able to establish that several years ago in the mid-2000s, 2006 timeframe, and ever since then, it allows us to partner with them, share artwork back and forth, and it's a great opportunity to be able to bring art that you see in the museum to this region of the country.
You just nailed it, man. I mean, we spent about an hour and a half there, and I just left with my jaw on the floor and my eyes wide open to stories that I have never been exposed to, especially not outside the perimeter. We were talking before we got on air, and it seems like everybody is under this assumption that you have to drive to Atlanta to go to the Art Institute, to go to the museums, to go to where the culture is.
Right.
But the culture is right outside the window in Cartersville.
It's funny. As a marketing guy, my executive director and myself kind of have this thought behind it, and something we call it distance resistance.
Right.
We're outside the perimeter. We're in Cartersville. There's just this perception that it's a small town and it's going to take me a couple hours to get there. And it's just not the case. It's just a perception. And that's why we like being able to, get out and especially even like people just like yourself, you and your family, just once you experience it, you're like, okay, literally it took me 30, 40 minutes from downtown to get there. It was an easy drive. It was well worth the visit, the time, because it is so much more than you ever expect. And I have the best job because one, I get to play cowboy. What little boy didn't want to grow up being a cowboy?
Yeah, you got the whole get up on. I love it.
I dress for radio
This
today.
is great, man.
So, but it's just one of those aspects where I get to do that, but at the same time, it's easy to exceed expectations.
Right.
I mean, people, when they show up, they're just, like you said my jaw is on the floor trying to wrap my head around, how is this here? Why is it here? I can't believe this is here.
Yeah.
To the fact that this is incredible to have just in our backyard.
We enter the museum, and there's a giant statue of an Indian inside. And I actually had my wife stand next to it with the stroller with my son in there. I was like, honey, just for context, look how tall the statue is. It's amazing. And then you're looking at all of these handcrafted pieces of our past here in America, of Native Americans, different tribes, the men that we call cowboys, as it were, even a piece of black culture.
Oh,
Buffalo Soldiers.
Yeah, many pieces.
Yeah, which is so cool because it's all encompassing. It's all about the realness of our past.
Right. Which
is so rare nowadays. It seems as if people are trying to erase pieces of history that just make us who we are. They shape this country into what it is.
That's right. And, it's that heritage aspect of America's story.
Right.
And that's kind of one of the things that we kind of base our museum on is, there's so much to America's story, and that's what we try to portray from the American West, the presidential and the Civil War aspect in art. And so there are too many mediums, too many forms of art to mention represented in that museum, from sculptures to bronze, wood, carvings, neon lights, steel sculptures to your traditional just bronze clay sculptures, up to paintings by every single kind of medium you can imagine. I mean, if you've ever drawn or painted with oils or colored pencils, I mean, those are in the museum as well, to acrylics. I mean, it really does just showcase the broad aspect of art, even the pieces that were made by hand, the artifacts. Art in their own right. And we've got an entire section dedicated to that. So it's one of those things where if you haven't been to the museum, it's kind of like, oh, I've heard about it, and I keep hearing people talk about how great it is. Well, there's a reason. I mean, it really is a incredible institution to have right here in the backyard of Atlanta.
Yeah, and if you want to kind of get a little sneak peek into what you'd see, head to boothmuseum.org. There's so much information there, information about membership programs and mission events. But I want to circle back as we close to my third favorite part, because we've already talked about creating Camelot and Ansel Adams.
Yes.
But to circle back to the presidential part.
Okay.
Because the idea of original handwritten letters by these men that we'll never meet from hundreds of years ago, literally right behind some glass that we get to see. It's like we were there in the room with them
when they wrote it,
drafting this letter. And by the way, it brings up the outstanding notion in my head that I've been struggling with, how bad my handwriting is compared to these guys.
Okay, handwriting is a lost art.
No kidding, man. I don't even remember how to make a Q in cursive.
It's funny, when I get to do tours at the museum and we're in that gallery, I'll point out the fact that, you'll see so many handwritten letters up until the invention of the typewriter and the computer.
Right.
And then you've still got the hand-signed letters, but the penmanship, the art just some of those letters were just... especially when you look at those that were like signees on the Declaration of Independence, those early, the forefathers.
Right.
I mean, when you look at their penmanship, it's just like, wow.
It's outstanding.
It is.
And in case there's somebody out there thinking, yeah, but my kids are going to be with me and, they're going to get bored. Take it down to the lower level.
Y'all found Sagebrush Ranch?
We found the ranch, and there's so much to do down there. I was literally floored.
Sagebrush Ranch is... our version, I don't want to call it an indoor playground because it's so much more than that, but it's our version of a hands-on interactive gallery for kids.
Sure.
And I don't even know if we mentioned this or not, but children 12 and under are free admission to the museum.
$3.99. I got to love it.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, free. That's one of those opportunities that we love to take advantage of. So when you bring the kids, I always advise, see as much as the museum as you possibly can with them.
Right.
Because once you get downstairs, one, it's hard to get them out.
Right.
And two, they're able to relate on a hands-on, interactive basis in this children's gallery with what they've seen throughout the permanent galleries of the museum.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a life-size horse they can climb on and get photos. There's an artist studio, a bunkhouse, a miniature stagecoach that you can ride in, rodeo corral that has all these different puzzles and activities for the kids. I mean, honestly, it's good for kids of all ages.
Yeah, I was going to say, I enjoyed it. I'm not even going to lie. I played with some of the puppets. You guys have books back from like the 1950s and 60s. I saw an old Nancy Drew.
Oh, yeah.
Down there. I mean, and the stagecoach was awesome because you look through the window and it's passing landscape.
Yeah.
And I have an 8-month-old and he was like, I think he's trying to figure out like what's going on. This is really cool. We're in a room, but I'm moving. And then my wife got him up on the horse and we took some pictures. So it's really just a memorable experience that you can capture with the whole family. And I can't wait to go back as these exhibits change. And I'm just thankful to have Tom Shinall, Director of Marketing for the Booth Western Museum in Cartersville, just 40 minutes outside of Atlanta. It's a hop, skip, and a jump if you live OTP like yours truly. And it's so affordable, fun. There's really nothing to lose. You guys got to check it out. Boothmuseum.org. You can also connect on Twitter at Booth Museum. And then use the hashtag Booth Museum when you head there this weekend. What can we anticipate in the coming weeks or months as far as exhibitions go?
Well, the Creating Camelot, the Kennedy photography of Jacques Lowe is on view through pretty much the end of this month. So you got until August 27th to see it. Final weeks. If you can get up before then, come see that exhibit, please do.
Right.
Ansel Adams, The Masterworks, is up through the first part of November the 5th. So it's got a couple more months. We're doing our signature triennial exhibition, one that we do every 3 years. It's called Western American Art South of the Sweet Tea Line. So this will be our 5th installment. And basically what we do is we built these relationships with collectors and donors, and we go around the Southeast, getting pieces of artwork loaned to this exhibition from private collections.
Wow.
So we bring all these together and kind of, this aspect of, just because there's one person that collects Western art in the South, they think they're the only one. No, there's a lot of people that do. And so we bring them together in this exhibition. And so it will open mid-September and run through the end of the year. And it's always a popular exhibition because, it showcases 150 years of history, from the early historical pieces to the pieces that are being done today by today's best. And so it brings them all together in one exhibition, so you can kind of get that grasp of an entire 150 years worth of Western American art. So that's coming up as well. And then we've got another exhibition coming up this fall with an artist by the name of Howard Post. And he is an Arizona artist that stays true to the Arizona landscapes and the rodeo styles of cowboys. And so he's a modern, impressionistic type artist, not what you would expect. Real colorful, real vibrant, a lot of lines in his artwork, something a little bit different. And so we're always excited to be able to bring new art into the Southeast.
Sure.
And so this is an opportunity for us to do that. So there's a couple exhibits coming up through the end of the year.
Exciting times ahead. Tom, we got to have you back in Wenz World real soon.
Let's do it.
This is great. Tom Shinall, Director of Marketing for the Booth Western Art Museum in Cartersville. A must-see, folks. Take the family out there and mention Wenz World when you get to the front desk.
Yeah, it gives you an opportunity to explore the West without leaving the South.
There you go. I love it. Thanks again, Tom.
Thanks, Joey.
What's going on, KLRN Radio family? This is your friendly neighbor, Joey Wenzler, a.k.a. The Wenz, and you can hear Wenz World every single Tuesday, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and always on demand right here on KLRN Radio, the world's finest internet radio station. Man, oh man, there's been a lot going on over the last several days here in America, and this is the time of the show where I like to give you a little bit of my heart. It's the end of the show. No agenda, just sharing who I am and what I think with y'all. Thank you for listening. I think at this point in time, we all need to realize that skin color is something that we weren't born with a choice to have. And to gain a sense of superiority or pride in our skin color is foolish. There are way more important things to be focused on in this world. Serious things like caring for each other and loving each other, showing love in practical, reasonable ways in society. And the fact that there are people that still believe that they are inferior or superior to another created being because of how dark or how light their skin is absolutely and utterly ridiculous. It is 2017. We need to get past this. I'm sick and tired of it. I don't want my child growing up in a world where he is viewed as superior or inferior because of his skin color. I want him to be judged based off how he treats people. Now, to get a sense of pride out of accomplishment is a whole nother thing. If you work hard and you earn a six-pack in the gym, a great-looking body because you put the work in, that's pride. That's, hey, I did something. But to be born to look a certain way, to be 6 feet tall or 4 feet tall, we don't earn those rights to be prideful over that. We just got to move to a new level of enlightenment in this country. And it's really simple stuff. It's just really a matter of respect. I don't think it's anything different than that. Showing our fellow man and woman respect, dignity, and treating them the way we would like to be treated, even when we aren't treated that way. Because at the end of the day, this life it's a vapor, man. It's a mist. It's here today, gone tomorrow. And to reach the next level of existence, with a clean conscience about how we treated our co-inhabitants of this earth is going to be way more valuable than any material possessions, accolades, awards, degrees, anything that can burn up in a fire. It's so much more important to be decent people to each other. And I'm even going to go here, apart from religion, apart from faith. Because, man, as of late, I've noticed how cool some atheists are. I'm not saying I agree with them, because I don't. I fundamentally disagree with the atheist viewpoint of the world, creation, God, etc., etc. But it's amazing how kind some people that don't believe in God can be. And then on the same side, people that believe in God or call themselves believers, Christian, so on and so forth, how just mean and ill-spirited they can be towards their fellow man. And there are days when I'm that person. There are days that I come home and I look at myself and I just say, man, you just sucked today. The goal, man, is to suck a little bit less every day. How can I be less crappy of a husband, less crappy of a father, less crappy of a neighbor, less crappy of a driver that's driving next to you right now? I just think it's important to grow, but grow out of the right foundation, to grow into who we were created to be. And that's children of God, loving each other, and loving our Lord by loving each other. Thanks for listening, y'all. Till next Tuesday, make it great. You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Although Hidden Traps is not officially released until August 1st, you can pre-order your paperback or ebook copy now from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@KLRNradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course. Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Hey, KLRN radio family, this is Ginny Ehrhart. Check out the Southern Sisters radio show every Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KLRN. Connect with me on Facebook at Southern Sisters Home with Ginny Ehrhart. You can also catch our Facebook Live videos, unedited and uncensored. Connect with me personally. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.